Hello students, in today's video I will be explaining about the contributions of Delhi Sultanate. Before getting into the video, if anyone is seeing the channel without subscribing, please do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. It will be of a great encouragement for me. Also, do click the bell button to receive notifications whenever I upload new videos. So without wasting time, let us get into the video. Contributions of Delhi Sultanate. So in the last video we have seen about the same topic, that is contribution of Delhi Sultanate. Contribution of Delhi Sultanate. The same topic we had seen in the last video. In the last video, we have seen contributions in the field of administration. So that is what we saw, what all contributions were made in the field of central government and provincial government. That is what we saw in the last video. So in today's video, we are continuing the same topic. So first we will see the contribution in the field of literature. Contribution of Delhi Sultanate in the field of literature. This age witnessed the growth of Persian and vernacular literature. So the first thing, two language literature developed during this time, that is vernacular literature. I'm sorry, I will just correct the spelling. So the first type of literature which developed during this time was vernacular literature, that is the local languages were used for the literature, and other one was Persian literature. So these two vernacular languages, that is their local language literature developed, as well as Persian language literature developed during this time. So that was a major contribution of Delhi Sultanate. In that, the most important writer we can say is Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro was the most outstanding writer, and he is very famous as the parrot of India. So Amir Khusro, one of the most outstanding writer of that time, was very famous as the parrot of India. Now let us see the two important works written by Amir Khusro. The first work written by Amir Khusro is Qazian-ul-Futuh. That is the first important work written by Amir Khusro, and the second important work written by him is Tarkish-e-Alai. Tarkish-e-Alai. So the two important works written by Amir Khusro, one is Qazian-ul-Futuh and the second one is Tarkish-e-Alai. So Amir Khusro was the most outstanding writer. He is called as Parrot of India, and he wrote two important works, one is Qazian-ul-Futuh and Tarkish-e-Alai. Now another writer during that time was Amir Hassan Dehlavi. So another important writer, we can say that Amir Hassan Dehlavi was very famous for his works. And after that, we can also see some of the rulers during that time, during Delhi Sultanate time, were also great scholars. For example, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, all of them were great scholars. Now in literature, vernacular and Persian language literature developed. Amir Khusro was one of the most outstanding writers. He was famous as a parrot of India. He wrote two important works, Qazian-ul-Futuh and Tarkish-e-Alai, and another important author was Amir Hassan Dehlavi. So these were the contributions in literature. And after that, I also said that some of the rulers, that is Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq, all of them, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, all of them were great scholars. So they also had contributed in the field of literature. Another important person, that is during Delhi Sultanate time, was Ziauddin Barani. Ziauddin Barani and Ibn Battuta. Ziauddin Barani and Ibn Battuta both of them were great historians of Tughlaq period. They were very important historians of Tughlaq period. Ziauddin Barani and Ibn Battuta were great historians of Tughlaq period. After that, we can also see about a person called as Shams-e-Siraj Afif. So Shams-e-Siraj Afif. Now, what is the importance of this personality? He completed the work Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi. He completed the work called as Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi. So when it is said that he completed the work, that means that it was started by someone else. So it was left incomplete by Barani. So Ziauddin Barani. So he completed, Shams-e-Siraj Afif completed the work Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi, which was left incomplete by Ziauddin Barani. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq and all were great scholars. They also contributed to literature. Ziauddin Barani and Ibn Battuta were two great historians during the Delhi Sultanate time. Shams-e-Siraj Afif, he was a person who completed the work Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi, which was left incomplete by Barani. So now let us see the points which we have studied till now. The contributions in literature. This age witnessed the growth of Persian and vernacular literature. Amir Khusro was the most outstanding writer. He was called as the parrot of India. Qasiyan-ul Futuh and Tarke-Shi Alai were his works. Amir Hassan Dehlavi wrote sonnets. Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq were great scholars. Ziauddin Barani and Ibn Battuta were great historians of Tughlaq period. Shams-e-Siraj Afif completed the work Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi, which has been left incomplete by Ziauddin Barani. Now let us continue to see the points about the contributions in literature. The Bhakti movement provided the scope for the development of vernacular literature. So now we have studied that two language literature, that is Persian and vernacular. So here we see that the Bhakti movement which developed during that time, this Bhakti movement provided the scope for vernacular literature. Okay, so the Bhakti movement which developed during that time provided the scope for vernacular literature. Vernacular literature, I have told you, basically the local languages spoken there. For example, Hindi or Bengali literature, Punjabi, Gujarati, all these were the vernacular languages, and Gujarati, all these were the vernacular languages, and because of the Bhakti movement, the vernacular language literature scope developed during that time. Chand Bardai, another famous author during that time, Chand Bardai wrote the famous work Prithviraj Raso. Chand Bardai wrote Prithviraj Raso. And Malik Muhammad Jayasi wrote Padmavati, another important author. Malik Muhammad Jayasi wrote Padmavati. So all the books and authors' names are very important. Considering your exam side also, it is very important. So Chand Bardai wrote Prithviraj Raso, Malik Muhammad Jayasi wrote Padmavati. There was also a great encouragement for translating works from Sanskrit to Persian. Many works were translated, that is, translation was also given importance. Many works were translated, that is, translation from Sanskrit to Persian. So translation was also given much importance in literature during Delhi Sultanate period. So the Bhakti movement gave scope for development of vernacular literature. Vernacular, basically it was Hindi, Bengali, Punjabi, Gujarati, etc. Chand Bardai wrote Prithviraj Raso, and Malik Muhammad Jayasi wrote Padmavati, and the translation of works from Sanskrit to Persian were also given important. So all these were the contributions in the field of literature during Delhi Sultanate period. Next, let us see the contribution in the field of art and architecture. So the next contribution which we are going to learn is the contribution in art and architecture. The heritage of Indian architecture was enriched by the Delhi Sultans. So the heritage or the fame of in architecture or the Indian architecture was enriched by Delhi Sultans because they have given so much contributions, okay, to the art and architecture. They had given so much contributions there. That is why it is said that the heritage of Indian architecture was enriched by the Delhi Sultans. Now, what was the specialty of the architecture? They developed a new style of architecture, that is Indo-Islamic style of architecture. This is a very important point. The contribution of Delhi Sultanate in architecture. They developed the Indo-Islamic style of architecture. So Indo-Islamic style, naturally from the name only you can understand, it is a synthesis of two religious ideals. Okay, it is a synthesis, that is, if you can understand, it is the synthesis of Hinduism and Islam. Hindu style, Indian styles was a Hindu style and Islamic style. So it was a synthesis of Hinduism and Islam, two styles of architecture. Now, in this Indo-Islamic style, what were the important features we can see? If we see a construction which is done in Indo-Islamic style, what was the special features of this style? Some of the special features were minarets, then arches, domes, large gateways, etc. All these were the important features of the Indo-Islamic style of architecture. So minarets, arches, domes, large gateways, etc. were the important features of Indo-Islamic style of architecture. Now, the Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi, one of the example of the Indo-Islamic style of architecture, Quwwatul Islam Mosque was an example of the Indo-Islamic style of architecture. It is situated in Delhi. Again, one more example you can see is Adai Din Ka Jampara Mosque. Okay, that also Adai Din Ka Jampara Mosque. Another example, this mosque is situated at Ajmer. These two are the earliest creations. There are many other creations, but these can be told as the earliest creations in Indo-Islamic style of architecture. So, the two different examples which we can see in Indo-Islamic style, one is the Quwwat-ul-Islam Mosque at Delhi and other Adai Din Ka Jampara Mosque at Ajmer. So, regarding art and architecture, the heritage of Indian architecture was enriched by the Delhi Sultans. They developed a new style of architecture called as Indo-Islamic style. This was a synthesis of Hinduism and Islam. The important features of this style are minarets, arches, domes, large gateways, etc. Two examples, one is Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi and Adai Din Ka Jampara Mosque at Ajmer were the two or the earliest creations which was done in this Indo-Islamic style of architecture. So let us see the points which we have studied till now. The Bhakti movement provided scope for the development of vernacular language like Hindi, Bengali, Punjabi and Gujarati. Chand Bardai wrote Prithviraj Raso. Malik Muhammad Jayasi wrote Padmavati. There was encouragement for translating works from Sanskrit to Persian. Now, the contributions in art and architecture. The heritage of Indian architecture was enriched by the Sultans of Delhi. They developed a new style of architecture called Indo-Islamic style. This was a synthesis of the two religious ideals, that is Hinduism and Islam. The important features of this style monuments are minarets, arches, domes, large gateways, etc. Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi and Adai ka Jampara Mosque at Ajmer were the earliest creations. So these are the contributions which we saw in art and architecture. Still we have some more points in art and architecture. One of the greatest achievements in art and architecture was the Qutub Minar. So the Qutub Minar was one of the greatest achievements regarding Delhi Sultanate in art and architecture. It was the construction of Qutub Minar was commenced by Qutubuddin Aibak. Commenced means it was started by Qutubuddin Aibak, and it was completed by Iltutmish. Okay, so it was commenced by Qutubuddin Aibak and it was completed by Iltutmish. So this was about Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar was one of the important contributions in art and architecture during the Delhi Sultanate time. It was commenced or started by Qutubuddin Aibak and it was completed by Iltutmish. Again, one more important construction by Iltutmish was the Jami Masjid. Another important construction, that is Jami Masjid by Iltutmish, was one of the largest and most beautiful of his buildings. So Jami Masjid was one of the most largest and beautiful of the buildings by constructed by Iltutmish. Again, some more contributions were Alauddin Khilji's palace, that is Palace of Hazar Sitam. That was another magnificent contribution in architecture, that is Alauddin Khilji's Palace of Hazar Sitam. Palace of Hazar Sitam. So that is the Palace of 1,000 Pillars. That was Alauddin Khilji's very important contribution. It was the Palace of 1,000 Pillars. That was an important contribution in art and architecture by Alauddin Khilji. It was called as the Palace of Hazar Sitam. Then again there was the fort of Siri. That was also Alauddin Khilji's contribution. Then Jamait Khan Masjid, Alai Darwaza, which is situated at Delhi, Darwaza at Delhi. All were the contributions of Alauddin Khilji to art and architecture. So Alauddin Khilji's Palace of Hazar Sitam, that is Palace of 1,000 Pillars. Then the Fort of Siri, Jamait Khan Masjid, Alai Darwaza at Delhi. All these were the important contributions of Alauddin Khilji to art and architecture. So the Qutub Minar was one of the greatest achievement, commenced by Qutubuddin Aibak and completed by Iltutmish. Jami Masjid also was one of the largest and most beautiful buildings of Iltutmish. Alauddin Khilji's Palace of Hazar Sitam, Fort Siri, Jamait Khan Masjid, Alai Darwaza, all were important contributions of Delhi Sultanate to art and architecture. Now you can understand the first point, why it was said that the heritage of Indian architecture was enriched by the Sultans of Delhi. So many contributions were made by them. The Tughlaqs also showed keen interest in building cities and forts. So not only the Khiljis, the Tughlaqs also contributed to art and architecture. If we see Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he was one of the greatest builders. Firoz Shah Tughlaq was one of the greatest builders, and he had contributed a lot to the art and architecture of Delhi Sultanate. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq was one of the greatest builders, and he laid the foundation of cities like Firozabad. Firoz Shah Tughlaq laid the foundation of cities like Firozabad or Fatehbad, Janpur, etc. Many cities. Okay, Firozabad, Fatehbad, Janpur, etc. So if we see other than the Khiljis, so we saw the contributions of Alauddin Khilji. So like that, other than Alauddin or the Khiljis, it is said that the Tughlaqs also contributed a lot to the art and architecture. So the most important contribution was given by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq, it is said that is one of the greatest builders, and he laid foundations of cities like Firozabad, Fatehbad, Janpur, etc. So these also was the contribution of Delhi Sultanate to art and architecture. So let us see the points which we have studied. The Qutub Minar was a great achievement. It was commenced by Qutbuddin Aibak and completed by Iltutmish. The Jami Masjid built by Iltutmish is one of the most beautiful buildings. Alauddin Khilji built the palace of Hazar Sitam, that is the palace of 1000 pillars, the fort of Siri, the Jamaat Khan Masjid and Alai Darwaza at Delhi. The Tughlaqs also showed keen interest in building of cities and forts. Firoz Shah Tughlaq was one of the greatest of the builders, and he laid out the cities of Firozabad, Fatehbad, Janpur, etc. So I think you have understood all the points regarding the contributions of Delhi Sultanate. So it is last video also is regarding the contribution of Delhi Sultanate, and this video also. Last video we have seen about administration, and here we have seen about literature, art and architecture. Now let us see some important questions. Who commenced the construction of Qutub Minar at Delhi? Qutbuddin Aibak. Name the two historians of Tughlaq period, Ziauddin Barani and Ibn Battuta. Who started the writing of Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi and who completed it? It was started by Barani and completed by Shams-e-Siraj Afif. Name two books of Amir Khusro, Qaziyan-ul-Futuh and Tarkish-e-Alai. Give an account of the contributions of the Sultanate of Delhi. Answer explained in the last video and this video. Both the videos points you have to combine, and that becomes an answer for the question. Give an account of the contributions of Delhi Sultanate. So I hope you have understood all the points very clearly. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. And if you have liked the video and if you feel that it has been helpful for you, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you all soon in the next video. Thank you for watching.